Hello and welcome to the Money and Mindset Podcast. I am your host, Anntricia Bray Smith,
Hi, and I'm Sheryka Alford.
and we are here just to give you an overview of who we are and who we aren't and what you can expect from this podcast. So we appreciate you joining us for our first episode of
Yeah.
Money and Mindset. So, Sheryka, I'll turn it over to you so that you can give us a little overview about who you are. Introduce yourself to our audience and just let them know what they can expect from you and money.
All right. Well, like I said earlier, I am Sheryka Alford. I am the creator of the Proactive Planner blog. And basically, me and my family, we are on a journey towards debt freedom. And I just want to share the lessons that I've learned along the way and help others just join the journey. Let's break these poverty mindsets and let's help us build wealth. Like I said, it's me and my family. I'm a wife, a mother of two teenagers, and I love talking money, all things money.
Oh yeah, I think we're just a sugar and spice of it all. You more of the sugar, I'm more of the spice. And like I said, I'm Anntricia Bray Smith, and I'm all about the mindset. Everything I do, it goes back to mindset behaviors. That is my focus. That is my specialty. And so over the years, Sheryka and I have had so many conversations. And in the
Yeah.
beginning, we were kind of resistant to one another. She's talking about money. Hey, I didn't even want to hear it. I had so much debt. I didn't even want to hear anything about money. But then here I am talking about mindset and living your goal, uh, going out trying to get your goals and reaching those goals and dreaming and stepping outside
Yeah.
our comfort zone. Oh, she's not wanting to hear that. But here we are together. Who would have
Yes.
thought it? Money and mindset. It's the podcast. And so if you're kind of in that state where you're all about money and you haven't thought much about mindset, or if you just want a new take on how to look at our money and have that relationship, you're in the right place. I am an author, I am an educator, I am a public speaker. More than that, I am a mother, I am a wife, I am an entrepreneur out here. I am an entrepreneur out here just trying to do my thing, just trying after 45 years of living, just trying to get this thing together. And I know I'm not the only one. I know some of you out there, you reached that milestone in life. You're over 40, you're over 50, you're over 60, and you're wondering, is it too late?
No, it is not.
Absolutely not. It's not too late to change the direction of your money. It's not too late to change the direction of your mindset. It's not too late for you to accomplish all those things that you set out to do.
Yes, and I might add, if you're looking for get rich quick schemes or the hot stock pick of the week, this is not the show for you. That is not what we're about. We are about embracing the journey, starting from the bottom, working through debt, building wealth through investing with for retirement, not fast, day trading, that sort of thing. But we are about the journey. And also, as we are learning these things and going through this, I am a advocate of financial literacy. Let me encourage you. While you're going through this, clearing up the things that you may have made mistakes with in the past, if you have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, teach them what you're learning along the way, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to correct our lives and also better our legacies that we leave behind for the younger generation.
Well, Sheryka, I'm interested to know what got you thinking about money, or when did you begin to be more intentional with money?
Well, yes, more intentional because, we're naturally geared certain ways. Like some of us, like my husband, are more so geared to be spenders. And I've pretty much always been more of a saver and more thoughtful about what I'm doing with my money. And that's courtesy of the lessons that I've learned from previously from my mom and dad. But as far as being intentional, honestly, I wasn't really intentional until probably it was about 3 years ago. And I was recovering from a surgery I had, and I couldn't do anything but lie on the couch. And during that time, I listened to podcasts. Thank God for podcasts. Never thought I'd actually be doing one, but I listened to podcasts and I learned about the FIRE movement. I don't know if you're familiar with that. FIRE, financially independent, retire early.
Say that again.
And the FIRE movement,
Oh, okay.
financially independent, retire early.
Okay.
So I learned about the FIRE movement, and at that point, that's when I was like, wow. So yes, I have been saving. I pay my bills on time, but I haven't really had that intentionality behind it. And that really sparked something. So it's probably been about 3 years ago.
Awesome. Yeah, I know my journey with money, understanding how um, my relationship with money also reflect the relationships that I had in my life. Um, I'm just, getting intention with that, just learning what that looks like. Um, Many of us, we don't, we take for granted that if we have a bad relationship with money, we'll probably have bad relationships in other areas of our life,
True.
whether it's with our kids, in our careers, with our spouse, choosing mates. And so that's something to consider. We don't realize how connected money and our mindset is. So my journey here is new as well. And as I learn, I want to write about those things. I want to share about those things so that for those that may not come across our podcast, maybe they can catch one of our books and begin to implement the process. So we're getting our voice out there, and we appreciate you guys taking out the time to be here to learn with us and grow with us, develop with us, because this is what it's all about. This is our mission, just to have real life conversations about what money and mindset looks like and how they are related and how we can make small, simple changes in what we already do to make the best out of our life. So, Sheryka, so do you teach your kids about money?
Yes, I do. I think they're probably tired of hearing about it, but such is life. Because my thing is this, especially with parenting, my, my responsibility is to train them and prepare them for when they're out on their own and I'm not around. And so I view it from that standpoint. So anytime we have those teachable moments, I make it a point to share with them when things out of the ordinary happen with finances. Actually, my kids and I roped them into working on a book with me. So we will have a book coming out soon. And the 16-year-old, she's the co-author, and actually my 13-year-old, he's contributing editor, and he really does his job. He points things out to me
I
like,
know he
mommy,
does.
that doesn't make sense, from a teenager's perspective, so that's coming out. And you mentioned something which jogged my memory. You wrote a book, Recreating a Better Me. And I recall in the book where you mentioned about your humble beginnings and
Absolutely.
how you started out versus where you are now. Could you share with our audience a little bit about that? Because there may be someone, just in case they're to the point to where they're throwing their hands up saying, things are looking hopeless. I can't do it. And I really do feel that if you share just a little bit of your story, don't give the whole book away, but share a little bit of your story. And I think I think that'll help someone.
Well, like I said, with our mindset, we have to understand that how we think, the things we're being conditioned to, start from somewhere. So I was born into poverty. I was born into to a family to where I had a divorced grandma. I had a teen mom, and here I am born into uh, a family full of love, but of poverty. And so, along with that, though we had love, there were some lessons as it relates to money that I didn't get. Not only that I didn't get, but all down through my family lineage, none of us got that. We were born poor, we lived poor, and we believed that we would always be poor. Though we had other values and things like that, money was just a resource that we didn't come by. So I was raised into that household. I lived in that household, um, no restroom, no indoor plumbing, none of that. And so all of that begin to shape my life, even coming up through um, adolescence. If I had money, all I knew is that we spent money. My family, my mom, my grandmother, they were hardworking people. Don't get me wrong. They were hardworking people, and they encouraged me to go out and get an education. Get out of education, get you a good job. And that was my focus for so many years. But one day I woke up and I'm like, you know, I did everything. I did everything right. Yeah, I made mistakes along the way. We'll get into that some other time. But I did everything right. Everything they taught me, it was important to me to fulfill that. One day I woke up and I realized that education is not doing it for me. Hard work is not doing it for me. Living this life of poverty, these negative mindsets, it is not doing for me. There is something that has to be more to life than this. And so this is what um, got me to researching and being a little more intentional with um my life. It got me to the point to where if there's something better to life than this, then I'm gonna live the rest of my life trying to figure out what it is and implementing it into recreating who I am, recreating not only my finances, but recreating me, recreating this mindset and going out and getting that life, seeking that life of abundance that we're taught about in our religious organizations. We're taught about abundance, but truth be told, it's just good to say he come to give us life and life more abundantly. Well, what is that abundant life? How
What does
many of
that
you
look
have
like?
actually been intentional in going out and getting that abundant life, seeking it out, understanding it what it is? But I tell you what, hard work won't do it. Working a 9 to 5 job won't do it. But hey, we're learning some of the secrets, and we're right here on the Money and Mindset podcast to share them with you.
Yes, we are sharing them with you as we learn them. And yeah, you mentioned in school, I'm with you. The same story here. Go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a good job. But even once I get a air quotes good job, how do I manage the money that I get from that income? And that's the downfall of a lot of us. We
Oh, for
make
sure.
money, but
For
then
sure.
we don't know what to do with it because, you know, money money is a tool, and just like with any other tool, you could use it for the proper way or you can use it the improper way. But based upon how you use it is going to determine your outcome.
Oh, for sure. Because, when you're in a poverty mindset, you're a consumer. That's all you know is to consume. In working class, no matter if you have a good paying job or minimum wage paying job, your mindset is going to determine the direction in which you're going to be able to really excel in your life. how you use that resource, that tool called finances, because the higher paying job we have, if we don't have the right mindset, all we're doing is buying more. All we're doing is spending more. We're not investing. We're not thinking about investing. We're not thinking about savings. We're not thinking about the IRAs. We're not thinking about the stock market. We're not thinking about all that stuff. We're thinking about shoes, clothes, getting our hair done, our nails done. We're thinking about finding the next best sale. We're thinking about the biggest house. This is where we're thinking about the cars, the rims, and all that. That's what we're thinking about as consumers with that poverty mindset. So it takes that shift.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I realized, because I'm not a rich, wealthy woman, I make about $30,000 a year. I'm an educator, and so um, I've made that same amount of money over a number of years. But what I realized is that my finances necessarily hadn't changed. It was my mindset that changed. And when my mindset changed, then I'm able to take that $30,000 and make it scratch to look more like maybe a 60 or 100. So you begin to just put it in different places. You begin to tell it what to do, and that's all the difference. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to have a high wage, high paying job. You can get out there. You can be making minimum wage. You can be making 30,000. You can be making 40,000. You can be making 50,000. It is your mindset that is going to make all the difference in the world when it comes to recreating not only yourself but the dynamics of your legacy.
Yes, yes. And what do you think about the role that social media plays in some of the
Lies, lies. Lies, lies. Hey, guys, we all been there. We all done that. We get caught up in the facade of the images of these people that just look like they're crushing it on social media and making all this money. Guess what? The
are
only
they in
money
debt?
the only money they're making is the money you're giving them by buying into the facade that they put in front of you. Look here. I have a business. I am a businesswoman. I operate my business on the free. Okay?
I'm
Everything you
sorry, what was that word again? Was that
on
free?
the free.
Oh, I
I,
like $3.99.
I don't have the overhead and all of that. These people go out and they get these beautiful pictures and these beautiful graphics, and they're showing you all this stack of money, this bling bling. They're putting in front of you, they're feeding the lust of your mind, the lust of your desires. And that is what you're buying into. And yes, they're getting paid because you're giving them your money and you're not getting the value in return. So, guys, don't believe the lies, don't believe the hype, don't buy into that.
Yeah.
There's a small business woman right there next to you in your neighborhood you don't have to look for, that will give you everything that you seek to help put you at the level. There's a small business woman somewhere in your neighborhood right next to you that will give you everything you need to get to your next level.
Yes. So what I'm hearing is it's possible to start a business without having to put a lot into it.
Absolutely. You're
A-
looking at her.
as long as you do the research and you're willing to do the work. Is that what I'm hearing?
You're looking at her. Hey, I have courses right now. My $40 courses will give you more value, more content than what you'll go out here and pay 1,500, $2,000, $9,000 to buy into somebody else's plan. And all they're gonna do is continue to string you along and get your money.
And I can testify. I took your writing course, and as a result of me taking your writing course, it's
Oh
happening.
yeah,
It's happening.
I'm ready to see that finished product. Um, And that's what it's all about. You have to connect with people that line up with your values and your morals, and people that are not out to uh, win one-sided. Now, the way I look at it, when one win, we all win, and that's my
Right.
mindset. I'm not trying to get over on you. I'm not trying to string you along. I'm not trying to uh, control your pocketbook. It is my hope that you reach the level of success that you desire to reach. I don't have time for that jealous stuff. I don't have time to worry about, oh, she getting more than me, so I'm only going to give her a little bit. No, I'm giving you all I have, and you take all I have and implement it with your gifts and your talents, and it's going to be something great.
Yay. And you touched on something. You mentioned community and connection. And over the years you hear the quote something along the lines of you're the sum total of the five closest people that you surround yourself with. Well, sometimes it's hard to find people to connect with in your local environment, your immediate environment, that are trying to go where you're wanting to go or who have already accomplished that. But I will say that one positive thing social media and technology can be used for is to connect with, although they may be strangers, but like-minded individuals, whether it be through listening to the podcast or watching the YouTube videos or joining the Facebook group. So if you're having problems trying to find someone in your area that wants to go where you're going, seek those areas.
Absolutely. We use social media for everything. We always have this little thing right here, this phone. We always have that right with us. Guys, we don't have no excuses. We don't have no excuses. Everybody in my family poor. But just because they're poor financially does not mean that they cannot begin to shift their mindset and do more with the money that they do have coming in. I have people in my immediate family that are on disability, so that means that they have a fixed income. I have people in my family that are retired, but they can scratch that retirement fund just a little bit longer. It's all about the mindset. Let me say that we don't have any excuses here in 2020 moving into 2021. There are no excuses, and that's one of the most valuable lessons that 2020 has taught us. So you can think what you want about 2020. There are some people that are getting creative and coming up with new ideas, and it only takes one great idea to impact the whole dynamic of your life. And guys, let me tell you, there are some people that are absolutely doing it.
Yes, yes. Now, a big part of it, you said there are no excuses, but one barrier that is sometimes hard to cross over, the emotional side. So, the emotional side of dealing with finances. We talked earlier about how we were brought up and some of the ideas and beliefs that were passed on to us, but how do you get past the negative self-talk and the emotions connected to trying to turn your finances around?
Well, first of all, you need to get connected to my Woman to Woman podcast on
Okay.
the Transform You Media Network. You must get connected with that Woman to Woman because I'm talking about a lot of those things there. But not only that, you have to read.
Mhm.
Reading is instrumental to making the necessary shifts in your life.
Yeah.
We're not trying to change um, who you are. We just want who you are to be better, to be in a better place. I have a book that I encourage people to start with, and that's Struggling to Forgive, because unforgiveness is probably the most critical element
Mhm.
that hinders us from getting to where we need to be in our mindset and in our life. We
Yeah.
hold on to that, and we don't realize that having unforgiveness in our hearts, in our minds, and not being able to get past that point where it keeps us stuck and repeating cycles,
Mhm.
It eats away at us like cancer.
Yeah.
It just simply eats away at us. So nothing is thriving. It dries up our bones. We're emotionally drained and we just can't get past that. So if you are one of those stuck in that negative mindset and you feel like, there's no hope, get my book, Struggling to Forgive. If you're one of those that maybe you don't read well or you don't see well or you just don't have time to sit down and read the book, it's on audio. Get the audio version, let it play, let it um, uh, go forth out in your environment, listen to it, ask yourself the questions, begin to process it so that you can be better. Because it's one thing to read a thing, and the only problem I have with reading something is that you're processing the information through your own negative perception. So to have somebody read it for you or to hear it also, it helps begin to create the shift that you need. And so I know some of you, you're saying, well, I read books and it just don't help me. I just, it's because it's going through your own perception. You're reading it through your voice. You're hearing your voice as you're processing the words. And sometimes you just need that voice of somebody else to be that voice for you to help you process that information.
Yeah, and I think we just need to all just look in the mirror and just tell ourselves, yes, I am worthy of and able to achieve success. Whatever your success is, that's for you to determine. And that's another thing. We all have to live our own lives. Please get somewhere. What helps me is to get quiet and really visualize what is it that I want for me.
Hey, I have to do that with my money every month. Every in a quiet place and I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, where is I'm gonna have to rob Peter to pay Paul today, but we gonna make it happen. So every month I'm doing that same thing. So yes, we definitely understand what that looks like. So Sheryka, tell us what can the audience expect from the Money and Mindset podcast moving into the next several episodes?
Well, first of all, because we are proactive and we are intentional, we're not going to wait until the new year's to start making New Year's resolutions and starting to improve. Over the next few weeks, we're going to talk about practical steps that we can take starting now here in 2020 to start improving our financial health. So, we're not going to do it all in one sitting because I will admit, yeah, dealing with finances and discussing it, it can be stressful. It really can. So we're going to go over practical tips that you can take um, every week to get closer to where you want to go. We're going to talk about goal setting and establishing our why because I think that's an important component to reaching any platform, milestone, whatever we're striving for, we have to sit down and write it out. So that's what we have to look forward to here in the next few weeks.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, she is your money.
Yes, and Anne is the mindset.
Yeah, baby. And so we thank you for joining us today for this edition of Money and Mindset. Meet us right back here next time.
Yes, until then, take care, my friends.